Russia. It's no mystery that ever since the end of World War II, they've been in a race with the United States to put man in space.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And it all started when Russia successfully launched the first unmanned probe, Sputnik, into orbit in the 1950s. But the one thing that we've probably heard the least about is the race to Mars. Now, just to give you some context, here's how the race to Mars has been going. The United States is 9 for 10 in successfully landing rovers on the planet Mars. What is Russia? 0 for 9. So that's why I want to talk about the mysterious and almost mind-bending reason why Russia hasn't been able to land anything successfully on the planet Mars. You see, in the 1960s, when they set their sights on Mars, they tried to send a Mars rover that they called Mars 1, which ultimately crash landed into the surface of Mars. And then they sent a second rover, Mars 2, which also crash landed. The only partially successful attempt that they had was in the year 1971, Mars 3, which landed on the surface of Mars successfully, but after about 20 seconds of transmitting radio data back to planet Earth, it gave out, and the picture it sent back was no clearer than the white noise that you might see on a television. Now, this leads us to the year 1988, when Russia said, okay, if we can't land anything on the surface of Mars, why don't we try for the moon of Mars, Phobos? Phobos is very interesting because Buzz Aldrin, the second man to ever walk on the moon, said something very cryptic about Phobos on a news broadcast in 1998.
The moon of Mars. There's a monolith, a very unusual structure on this little potato-shaped object.
And what he talked about was a mysterious monolith, which is about 278 feet high and something that is not a natural geographic formation.
When people find out about that, they're going to say, who put that there? Who put that there? If you choose, God put it there.
That's when Russia sent Phobos 1 and Phobos 2 to not only study that moon, but also the red planet. Now, Phobos 1, they say they typed in a command wrong from planet Earth, and they had one key wrong, just one single typo, made this thing lose its lock on the sun, and ultimately it ran out of battery because it was solar powered. Which leads us to Phobos 2. Phobos 2 did successfully reach Mars, and as it was orbiting around, something actually knocked it off its path and sent it in a tumble. But here's what's interesting. As it was knocked off its course by some mysterious object, it was taking pictures of space, it was taking pictures of Mars, and it was taking pictures of Phobos. And the pictures that were radioed back to Earth were described as having quite remarkable features. One of those photos shows a shadow of a craft that seems to be very, very large, but also has a perfect crescent shape, very reminiscent of a flying saucer on planet Earth. This was kept under wraps by the Russian government until one of the Russian cosmonauts, Dr. Maria Popovich, came out with the last known photo transmitted from Phobos 2 of the unknown craft that cast the shadow from the first picture that we just talked about. This photo was listed as above top secret, meaning even some of the highest officials in the Russian government don't even know about this photo.